The walls of the Colosseum still whisper the echoes of forgotten battles. Where thousands screamed, a man's fate was decided with a single gesture. In ancient Rome, gladiators were the ultimate spectacle. Fighters who faced pain, blood, and death. For honor, freedom, or survival. But who were they really? Not all were nameless slaves. Some were prisoners of war, others criminals, and even free men seeking glory. Yes, there were those who chose to be gladiators voluntarily in exchange for fame, gold, or sometimes a chance to live eternally in legends. They lived in special schools called ludus gladiatori. The most famous, the Ludus Magnus, stood next to the Colosseum itself. These schools were veritable factories of warriors, trainers, doctors, cooks, and blacksmiths. They worked like barracks, each day beginning before dawn. Their bodies covered in sweat and dust, training tirelessly. Training included mock combat, shield charges, and weightlifting, all supervised by a lanista, the gladiator's trainer and owner. Their diet was surprisingly simple but effective. Rich in barley, legumes, and fruits, pure energy to withstand the punishment of combat. They were called orderi, the barley eaters. Their bodies were muscular, built to absorb blows and keep fighting. They slept in small, austere stone cells. Luxury didn't exist, there was only room for discipline and steel. Gladiators weren't just fighters, they were property. Investing in them was expensive, so they were cared for like valuable assets. Training wasn't a game, it focused on military techniques, controlled duels, and severe physical punishment. Every blow had to be accurate, every movement measured. In the arena, there were no second chances. Only the strongest survived the training, the weakest simply disappeared before stepping foot in the Colosseum. The types of gladiators were many and varied. Each one represented a class, a fighting style, an idea of combat. The Murmillo wore a heavy helmet and a large rectangular shield. Its sword, the gladius, was short, ideal for close combat. The Retiarius was the opposite, unarmored, with a net, a trident, and a dagger. It was agile and lethal. The Secutor was built to face it. It had a closed helmet, without protrusions, to avoid entanglement with the net. The duel between a Retiarius and a Secutor was an amphitheater classic. Speed versus strength, cunning versus brutality. The Trax, inspired by Thracian warriors, used a curved sword and, with its small shield, made unpredictable attacks. The Oplomachus imitated the Greek hoplite with a round spear and shield. Its style was technical, like a bloody choreography. The Democharis fought with two swords, without a shield. It was aggressive, swift, but vulnerable. Only the most skilled ones could survive like this. There were even gladiators specialized in fighting on horseback. They were known as eques and they used to open the shows. The combat combinations were carefully designed. It was not just about fighting, it was a spectacle with strategy behind it. Two gladiators of the same type never faced each other. That was not entertaining. The public wanted variety, tension, surprises. The fights were not improvised, they had approximate choreography. But the blood was real and the risk of dying constant. Sometimes wild animals were introduced into the arena: lions, tigers, bears. Fear was part of the game, the emperors knew this. The games were a tool of control. Bread and circuses kept the population entertained and submissive. The blood spilled in the arena was politics disguised as entertainment. But it was also passion, death, and a reflection of what it meant to be Roman. The fights did not always end in death. If a gladiator surrendered with honor, the public could ask for his forgiveness. Then, the emperor decided, thumbs up or down. Life or death, although that gesture wasn't always as we imagine it today. Sometimes, thumbs up meant the opposite of what we think. The language of death had its own codes in ancient Rome. Many gladiators gained popularity, as if they were celebrities. Their names appeared in graffiti, on rings, and on clay figures. Roman women adored them. Some even had relationships with high society ladies. And yes, there were also female gladiators. The gladiatrices, few in number, but fierce, fought in special spectacles and caused a sensation. Although their fights were eventually banned, they remained in memory for challenging gender norms. The path to freedom was difficult, but not impossible. After winning many fights, they could receive the rudis, a wooden sword. This symbol marked the end of slavery. The gladiator became a free man, master of his destiny. Curiously, many didn't retire. They preferred to continue fighting, because outside the arena, they were nobodies. Inside the Colosseum, they were gods for a moment. Outside, they were just ordinary men, without glory or gold. One of the most famous was Spartacus, a slave, gladiator, and leader of a rebellion that shook Rome. His army defeated entire legions for years. And although he eventually fell, his name was never forgotten. Other gladiators also left their mark, though lesser known, such as Flamma, who won his freedom several times and always returned. Over time, the world changed. Christianity grew, values transformed. The last gladiatorial combat took place in the year 404. A single man faced the arena for the last time before an audience that no longer applauded. Thus, the era of gladiators came to an end, but their story is forever etched in the memory of humanity. Their names, their weapons, their courage live on in the dust of the Colosseum and in the heartbeat of every story. If you like history and the Roman Empire,